Hi, this is Christy Snyder. I will be your Practicum 3 coordinator, as well as possibly clinical instructor and working in simulation. I know that the semester got off to a rocky start, but I think you're going to have a great semester and learn a lot. Here are the nursing Practicum faculty. I will tell you that I probably will do the OMC birthplace. I am hoping though that I may get an instructor here soon that has a little more knowledge about OB. But the other instructors, hopefully they've reached out to you. COVID is still rearing its ugly head at this time. Neosho is still following the rules. You 5 days self-isolate and then 5 days with a mask. You did sign an exposure risk release form that states that you could be exposed to infectious diseases and you may become ill. I will tell you on the COVID that if you do become ill and you take a COVID test and it's positive, we need to see absolute proof that it is a COVID test, and you need to fill out the paperwork on neosho.edu. The policies that you'll need to look at for this semester, they're found in the Nursing Student Handbook under policies. Attendance is a big one, professionalism, uniform policy, and determination of grade. The uniform policy is you have to keep in mind that these are guidelines set by the clinical sites and we are following what they want us to do. You will need to be in the appropriate uniform when you go to clinical, when you attend learning lab, and when you attend simulation. This means that you'll need to be in the gray Neosho scrub top, black pants, black socks, black shoes. You can use a black Under Armour garment. Shoes need to be covered unless they're on your hands. Piercings, you can have one stud piercing per ear. The rest of your piercings have to use the clear spacers. Your fingernails must be short and clean. No artificial nails, no gel polish. Your hair has to be done and up and off of your shoulders. Your uniform has to be clean and not wrinkled or look like you've slept in it. These are very important, and we're going to be looking at that this semester. Professionalism is a goal that we want you all to achieve. You're doing well. You're in your third semester, so we expect you to continue professionalism, and we want your professionalism and your attitude to be contagious. We do base our policy on the American Nurses Association Code of Ethics. And it defines how you should perform in classroom, clinical, learning lab, and simulation. So just remember that professionalism, that nursing is a proud profession, and we are still the #1 trusted profession. Time in any practicum experience, that includes clinical, learning lab, and simulation, then you will need to make that time up. Practicum hours are mandatory by KSBN. If you miss a day, you need to contact the immediate instructor if it's in clinical, your clinical instructor. If it's for mental health, and Stephanie, and Sim is Diane, but you also need to let me know so that I can be in contact with you. I am going to do a trial. Any missed hours that you miss, you will need to make them up the next week with me on campus. If you have a second absence, this will result in an action plan, which is just going to help you stay accountable and to not miss numerous days. And just remember that if you miss any clinical time or simulation time, you won't get to go back to that area to do that. So that's time missed with real patients as well as learning in the simulation area. Turn in your homework. If you don't turn it in by the date that it's due, then you will get a 0, and this can fail you in practicum. So make sure that you stay on top of your assignments. Make sure that when you are looking in coursework, you're not just looking at the top for assignments due. You need to scroll all the way down through, and you need to put due dates on your calendar to help you stay on top. If you are scheduled for simulation and you don't do the sim pre homework and have it done, then you will not be allowed to attend simulation that day. That will result in an action plan for professionalism, and you will have to make up those hours with me. So make sure that you're doing what you need to do to stay on top. Please make sure that you're doing your own work and that you're not copying off somebody else. Don't cut and paste from a book. Write it out in your own words. We check on that. There are ways that we can see if you are actually doing your own work. Don't do it as a group. So Practicum experience. In clinical, you will be doing concept maps. You did those last semester, so some of you, so you should know how to do that. There is specific criteria on what needs to be included in your concept map. It's attached to the concept map assignment. There are miscellaneous assignments, and these should be done by the due date. Some of these are in the form format. And then also you will have forums to do. So make sure that you get those turned in. The one thing that I will say, I just lost my train of thought. So make sure you get your assignments turned in. If you miss a day, I still want you to do the miscellaneous assignment unless it's that you need to do it at clinical. If you miss a miscellaneous assignment on a specific day, then do it the next week that you return to clinical. But do the forums, because most of them are not attached to a specific clinical. The concept map, miscellaneous assignments, and forums will be due 1 week, or at post your clinical day, or however your clinical instructor has assigned for you to do that. And then the mental health, Stephanie will tell you when that is due and how that is done. Some of these you can turn in before the due date, but some will need to be done at clinical, and some can be done anytime. All assignments need to be uploaded to coursework. I will go through and do my best to make sure that they're a file upload assignment or a form. This is how my Neosha page for this course is set up. Make sure you subscribe to the news feature because I may post in that occasionally. You will have 3 hours of learning lab this next week. There are skills, reference sheets, and videos that can be found in Lippincott. Most of them are under 116 and 126. Make sure that your sim pre-work is done. This is required. And then I am working on setting up the mental health first aid certification course. I have included a calendar. It's on the homepage of Practicum 3. And you should have received calendars. If you have questions, please send me an email. I plan to be back on campus on Monday, January 29th. You have to attend lab and simulation as scheduled. If you need to miss, you must see if another student will change with you. Otherwise, it is an absence that will may result in an action plan. I also want to let you know that if you have 2 tardies, that's the same as missing 1 clinical day, and that will also result in an action plan. If you are supposed to be at simulation at 9 o'clock and you stroll in at 9 o'clock, you're already late. You should be in your seat and ready to go for Diane to start at 9. If your clinical instructor wants you to start at 6:30, then you should be there 10 to 15 minutes before that to get your coats off, get everything that you need, your name tag, pen, paper, whatever you need, and be ready to go at 6:30 to receive your assignment. Email to instructors. Please remember to use your student email. Only in a dire emergency should your email come from your private email. We do not have to respond to an email that is not sent from your student email. So I would highly, and sometimes it goes to our spam, and I don't look at my spam folder or my junk folder, I just delete it. So make sure that you're sending everything from your student email. You need to address the instructors professionally. You can either contact me as Professor Snyder or Dear Christy, but do it in that form. Don't do it as in text speak. You need to have an address. State your request succinctly, and then sign the email. That is a professional email. You need to start learning how to do that right now. Here is an example. If you have a problem with an instructor, then give yourself 24 hours to get over the emotional aspect of it, and then write down the facts, and then contact your instructor to make an appointment to see them. There is a chain of command. The first person you need to go to is the instructor. If you are having an issue at clinical, then you need to address it with your clinical instructor. If you don't seem to be able to resolve it there, you can come to me. But if you come to me first, I probably am going to ask you if you have talked to your clinical instructor about it. So follow the chain of command. Now is the time to start learning how to deal with difficult people and how to have conversations with them. So talk to your instructor first, and then come to me, and then if you don't get your resolution, then you can go to Pam. So here's the question. Do you want to be a great nurse, or is a mediocre nurse okay? Do you want a great nurse or a mediocre nurse to take care of your loved one? I will tell you that the 4 days that my husband spent in the hospital, we had some really great nurses and we had some mediocre nurses. The great nurses, I will remember their names for taking such good care of my husband. The mediocre ones, I may not remember them at all. But we all want competent, caring people taking care of our families and ourselves. So just think about that as you go into your nursing career. If you have any questions, you can email me this next week. I will be checking email at least once a day. And like I said, I will be back on campus Monday, January 29th. Hopefully your clinical instructors have reached out to you. Those of you that are at OMC and on Thursdays in OB, I will be reaching out to you and talking to you next week. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a good day.